What's going on, guys? I am Optimus Philip, and we're back with more Kerbal Space Program. Now, today I'm going to be messing around with alternate engine designs, new stagings, things like that. My big thought is I'm going to be upgrading the first and second stages from what I have here to something that will get me further up into orbit on hopefully just those first two stages, so I can do a lot more with the later stages. So I'm going to take off this whole assembly here. I'm going to keep this whole vehicle the same. I said at the end of last episode that I would be putting some heat shields on. I did that, but I must have loaded the wrong save. And so far the only heat shields I've seen are for the bottom of the command module, which makes sense because that's when it's most important and that's the direction it's going to be facing. So I'm just going to leave it there and call that good. I'm going to bring this up to make room for the big engines that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be starting with this massive liquid fuel tank here. So I have my big engine here. I'm gonna add an adapter here to. I'm going to add a decoupler here. And let's see. Gonna make sure my staging is in order because that was a big problem last time. Okay, so staging's good. Now I'm going to add some decouplers here and add some solid fuel boosters to go further up. Okay, so there we go. They're mounted on the decoupler. And I'm going to give them a couple nose cones to aid in aerodynamics. Let's see, I think I'm also going to need some struts here to keep them from wobbling, because that is something I noticed when I was playing around just off camera. That looks a little kind of budged together, but I think it's good for like an initial test run at least. I'm gonna need to put on some wings to keep everything stable, because that's another thing, you need wings. Another thing I learned the hard way. Add some delta wings. Like that. Hopefully that'll be good. Let's see. Gotta adjust that a bit, get them all nice and level. I don't know how this is gonna work. I think I'll just try it like that. And Kronos 1, kind of like the Saturn V, but it's kind of, because I realize it's kind of the form factor I've got going on right now. And I wonder if this, yeah, maybe this whole thing up top is messing with my aerodynamics. You know what? Screw it. Let's test it out. Okay, throttle up, and okay, don't. Okay, so it appears my rocket is too heavy for these solid fuel boosters to get it into space. Or even get it off the ground. Okay, those things apparently crashed. Okay, so one exploded and one is currently careening through the atmosphere, presumably to the ground somewhere. Next stage. Okay, so this liquid fuel tank on its own is enough to get into the air. And I forgot to turn on stability assist again. This is not going to end well, but I'm curious to push it to its limits and see how far we can go. we are definitely burning up. Just gotta reach the atmosphere, and okay, so we're just about at the thinnest point of the atmosphere, and so we should stop burning up right now. Okay, and just in time, that liquid fuel tank has burned up completely. Oh, okay, so yeah, that did decouple as I intended. Now let's see where we're at. Okay. So that... Okay, so that's good. That got us a lot higher up than we were last time. Let's see how far we can get into orbit from here. Okay, add a maneuver. Wind the trajectory. Look at that. That is a much... Let's see how far we can push this orbit. Okay, so we can reach some pretty intense speeds with just this one, with the amount of fuel we have on us right now. Which I think is real good considering where we're at. Okay, but so you need to smooth out our orbit a bit. Let's try it. Let's try to get into this nice wide orbit. Now let's adjust our ship to point in the right direction for the burn. Throttle up and see what we can do. Okay, so there's the arm of the galaxy. Real nice. So we've learned something very important. We've learned that single liquid fuel tank is enough to get us this high up into orbit, which is good. It's a good step in the right direction. Those solid rocket boosters added to the sides is like an extra boost. Those are not strong enough to lift the rocket up like at all. And so I think what I'm going to do is I need to either put on larger solid rocket boosters and hope that the added fuel is enough to compensate for the added mass and get the whole vehicle into the air, or what might have been the more likely option is just scrap those altogether and just have the one main liquid fuel tank. I'm going to cut ahead to when we're actually in orbit now. We're back, and we are in orbit again. And look at this. This is a very nice solid orbit. Much further out than where we were before. Okay, maybe not that fast, but you can see if we speed up quickly. Yeah, we are doing full revolutions at full outer space height, and this is amazing. Look at that, a day and we're over a day into the space program, and we're already in orbit. Where are you at, NASA? I kid, of course. This is highly unrealistic, but it's a lot of fun. So, let's see. I'm gonna bring her back down to land. Let's see, create a maneuver here. Actually, no, I'm just gonna revert her to flight to the vehicle assembly station and see where we can go from here. Okay, so lesson learned. These are completely superfluous. I'm just going to ditch them. I'm going to get rid of these so I can create some more easily symmetric wings. Okay, so these guys go here. And I highly doubt that, like, as far as this vehicle has got me, is going to be enough to get me to the actual moon. What if I take this and add a second stage of this? Okay, so it seems they've thought ahead. This is not something I can make into a two-stage deal. I'm gonna have to figure something else out first for an additional stage. Maybe I will revisit that idea of solid boosters on the sides. Let's see what we got for engines. Okay, so let's see. This is what we were using before. Let's try one of these, just for kicks. Let's try and launch this. Okay, 3, 2, 1. I forgot struts. Those boosters are not secure in the slightest, but they're pushing us up. Let's see how long they last before they inevitably break off and make a mess out of everything. Or, you know, they're actually holding on surprisingly well. So, at the risk of jinxing myself, maybe I can, I think I'm definitely going to go back and add struts for the next generation, but this is holding up better than I expected, not gonna lie. So once we're out of fuel, I'm gonna disengage these and switch to the big liquid fuel tank. And see if this is anywhere close enough to get us to the moon. Disengage those, throttle up. I'm going to try and establish an orbit using this and see where we go from there. Okay, heat. So yeah, I'm going to cut ahead to when I've got it settled into an orbit. Okay, so I know I said I'd cut back when we have an actual stable orbit, but it appears that I'm currently on a complete escape trajectory from the planet Kerbal. So, I'm not prepared for an actual lunar landing, but I think we're in a good spot to actually just go for it and try and put a Kerbal on the moon. So I'm going to revert to the flight station, to revert vehicle assembly station, shore up those engines, and, you know, get set up for an actual moon landing, because, shoot, let's just go for it now. Okay, we're back. I have added a lander in the middle here. This is probably the stack rocket from hell now. So, let's save this and see if we can't get this on the moon and bring him back. Okay, now we're back, and the ship is fully crewed up. I have no confidence this will actually work, but let's just give it a whirl. 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff. That's good. Don't let those run out. So now that we've established this actually gets off the ground, I'm going to cut ahead to when we're back in orbit. Okay. Something has happened and I've lost my graphics. Okay. That was a disaster. Okay, that flight was an absolute... I don't know what's happened with that flight, and I've been recording for almost an hour now, so I think that's a good point to call it. So next time on Kerbal Space Program, I will hopefully figure out what went wrong with this flight, fix it, and maybe come up with a better system for actually getting to the moon. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. And it's hard at the end of the day. I need some distraction. Oh,